Better. Wow, first honor. Good evening. Okay, share lang muna natin live video. Okay, hold on. Aba, aga-aga. Wow. Entry, may first honor. Okay, ang galing. Okay, good evening, everybody. Uy. Hello, Crinkle. Cute naman. Ang cute naman ng Crinkle. But yeah, I remember you. Good evening, good evening. O baka may tanong ka? Well, okay. Pumapasok na yung mga entries natin. So, agahan na natin. Ayan, ako, nagsisend na. Okay. Share muna natin yung live video. Okay, good evening, good evening. Hi, Balot. Hi, Balot. Nice to see you. Good evening, and thank you for joining. So baka may questions kayo, anything that concerns our health. Unahin ko na yung health kasi medyo hindi nagiging priority yung health. So unahin natin yung health. Okay, so anything also that concerns your love life, tsaka syempre, yung career natin, yan. Go ahead and send your questions. Ang galing ng first honor natin eh. Okay, hi! Aba, ayan ang mga Team Mega World. Okay, so, hello Rain, the Princess of Mega World has arrived. I wanna acknowledge your presence. Aba, good evening, Claude. Si Claudine, good evening, good evening. Oh, ayan na mga ano. So, hulaan ko ang mga tanong ninyo yung tungkol sa sales natin. Gusto niyo sagutin ko na kaagad? Naku, ayan na dumarating na yung mga questions. Ayan, okey. Ayun, okey. So by the way, if you haven't watched our weekly tarot reading, medyo and aside from the weekly tarot reading pala natin ngayon, please be very mindful of the next coming 2 days. Kasi actually from the 12th and up to the 14th of April, medyo ang emotions natin can be at its peak. Okay? So maraming maraming possible na shifts in our thoughts and emotions. And it may also entail na hindi tayo masyadong magiging ganun ka-steady with how we feel. So, tayo ay magpasensya, do not make any necessary na mga, or rather important na mga decisions. Do not sign contracts, do not engage on anything yet. Investments as well, kung hindi to masyadong napag-isipan. Let's refrain from doing something major basically in the next coming days. 2 araw pa lang naman kasi today's the first day. Because there are, how many planets ba yun na gano'n? 3 planets. 3 planets are moving, and every time that these planets are shifting, it has a direct effect on us. So the next coming days, lalo na hanggang 14th, so today's a Tuesday, hanggang Thursday. So hanggang Thursday, be very mindful. Do not make any major decisions. Do not make any major na decisions, most especially kung hindi ito masyadong napag-isipan. And there's a tendency kasi, kung hindi natin masyadong napag-isipan, it will take a toll on us. Hindi natin siya mararamdaman agad, but sabi ko nga, most especially yung mga, if you are just acting out of your emotions, ayan, okay, so medyo hindi natin masyado magugustuhan yung magiging outcome, just in case hindi tayo naging grounded for the next 2 days, so hanggang Thursday this weekend. So also, this is something that you will also realize sa reading natin. It really coincides sa mga reading ng energies natin for the week. So if you have not watched our weekly tarot reading, actually yung today, maganda yung card today, major card because it's a start of the shift. However, it can really, it can be very, very tricky. So the goal is to do nothing basically for the next 2 more days hanggang Thursday. The goal is to just observe. Wala muna masyadong magre-respond or magre-react. The goal is to just observe anything and everything around you, how your life unfolds, and make sure na kung hindi naman kinakailangan, okay, of course, on other emergency cases na talagang kailangan to make a decision, and then go ahead. Basta be very mindful na kailangan before we make these decisions, dapat balancing yung mind and heart natin. Okay? Ay, ang dami na nangyayari dyan. Hello, good evening. Ay, hello. Hello, hey with the J, my fellow Reiki master all the way from Sweden, si Cha. Thank you so much for joining us. Di ba, kunwari hindi tayo nag-uusap. Kanina pa kami nag-uusap niyan before pa mag-start yung Tarot Tuesdays. Ang dami na namin chismisan yan offline. Syempre naman, si Francis. Hello, good evening. Cool. Thank you naman. Red mole on forehead. Oo. Okay, so medyo I forgot to mention nga pala na siopaw tayo for tonight, asado tayo for tonight. So hindi anong tawag dito, as you may know, I am a practicing Hindu, and earlier mga a couple of hours ago we did our prayers. Okay, and then every after prayer kasi we put the bindu, we call it the bindu, in our forehead. And so that's also the sign that we're able to focus and offer our energies to the divine. So that's a sign that we are also, parang look at it this way, parang body of Christ, ganun siya. So that's something very similar din that we do in the Catholic faith. So yan siya. And hi Camille, nice to see you. Good evening. Hello Chet. Good evening Gail, nice to see you. So dahil may mga na tayo, tingnan ko nga, ang dami nating questions for tonight. Okay, so sige, para dahil gusto kong sagutin ang mga questions niyo tonight, agad-agad, let's start our session. And you know how it is, we're not gonna start any of our sessions without saying a prayer. And I am a practicing Hindu, sabi ko nga. So I will be chanting my prayers in Hindu, but no matter which religion you're all following, I highly encourage you to join me in prayer. Let us all pray for guidance, wisdom, and protection. Lalo na kung kayo ay sasali sa mga tanong natin sa session natin for tonight, humingi tayo ng guidance kay God para maganda ang magiging outcome ng mga mababasa nating energies. Okay? So join me in prayer. Rain, nakunin mo na yung yung song hits mo diyan, sabayan mo na ako sa prayer. Alam kong favorite mo yung prayer. Okay. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshvara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshvara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Saravana Bhava Bhavaya Namaha. Om Saravana Bhava Bhavaya Namaha. Om Saravana Bhava Bhavaya Namaha. Om Dam Durgaye Namaha. Om Dam Durgaye Namaha. Om Dam Durgaye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Shri Mahavishnu. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher and also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher. And welcome to your official Tuesday night habit. This is Tarot Tuesdays. So every Tuesday night, nagbibigay tayo ng free reading para sa inyong lahat. So kung may katanungan kayo, anything that concerns your love life, nauna na naman yung love. Sige, love life, health. Okay, yung health natin, tsaka yung career. No problem, sagot ko ang inyong mga katanungan. Libre lamang po magtanong, send them over. And para makapag-participate sa session natin ngayon, kung gusto ko yung magtanong ng mga happening natin sa buhay, all you need to do, share nyo lang po yung live video natin. And then sa social media nyo, take a screenshot of it dahil importante, kailangan laging may resibo. And isend natin yung screenshot natin sa ating Facebook page. It's Everyday Reiki with Marky. Now, first served po ang ating basis ng mga pagbabasihan ng kung sino mauuna sa babasahan natin ng mga energies for tonight. One question at a time kasi sometimes mga questions natin medyo naka-combo meal yung mga questions natin. As much as possible para maging fair ang chances natin for everybody, we will answer one question at a time. Tapos kapag may time pa po tayo, babalikan natin yung mga follow-through questions natin. Sa mga magpa-participate naman for tonight, sa may mga katanungan, kung ang tanong natin, ano ba magiging basis ng mga mababasang energies ni Marky? So, kung ikaw ang magtatanong, hahanapin ko ang sagot sa energy mo. And what is comprised of your energy? Everything current, lahat ng pinaprocess mong thoughts and the emotions that come with it, and whatever decisions you're needing to make, and whatever actions you're going to take. So kung halimbawa naman, we start taking action, halimbawa we started saying something or we start doing something, automatically it will be subjected to the universal law of cause and effect. So for the Christian and the Catholic faith, we call it the golden rule. Para sa aming mga Hindu, we call it the law of karma. Science calls it Newton's third law of motion. Now, syempre, titignan lang naman natin kung may katanungan kayo, titignan natin kung favorable ba o hindi. Kung favorable ang mga cards na makukuha natin sa mga questions inyo for tonight, then very good. Pero know that kung gusto mo pang ma-improve ang manifestation natin, either mapabilis o mas mapaganda ang manifestation na gusto natin, pwedeng-pwede. In short, gagandahan pa natin ang energies natin para mas maganda ang maging outcome. Now, kung may makikita naman tayong mga possible warnings, huwag kayong mag-alala. Dahil ang mahalaga naman is the awareness na may mga possible warnings, and para hindi natin siya makuha, we will shift our energies totally para talagang hindi na natin siya makukuha. So, sa lahat ng mga magtatanong natin, sabi ko nga, hindi natin sasabihin na everything is going to be fine na. Kasi it's always about yung mindfulness ng mga energies natin. Sabi ko nga, reflection yun ng current energies natin. Parang self-check. Pero kung ang mga katanungan naman natin, halimbawa, ang tanong mo, imbis na ang sagot hahanapin ko sa sarili mong energy, pero ang kasagutan will be found on somebody else's energy. And kung titingnan ko ang energy ng iba nang walang permission nila, walang consent, meron kasi siyang karma. Yung karma, hindi yun mapupunta sa nagtanong, kundi dun sa doer of the action. So, hindi po yun pwede. Pero kung mga relationship questions naman ang katanungan natin or any questions relating to two or more people ang katanungan natin, may opportunity naman para maitanong natin siya. Hahati-hatiin lang natin ang mga energies equally kasama ang energy na nagtatanong so that pwede na natin siya itanong at wala na siyang karma on my end. However, may konting disclaimer lang tayo. Kada hahati-hatiin natin ng mga energies sa mga ganyang katanungan, may tsansa din na mahati-hati din ang accuracy rate dahil hindi po natin hawak ang energy ng ibang tao. So at any given time na maiba ang energy nila, lalo na pagkatapos ng reading session natin, malaki talaga yung chance na maiiba na rin yung possible outcome niyan. So ang masasabi ko lang, ang pinaka-accurate na mababasa nating energies ay lahat ng patungkol sa'yo because only you can control your own energy. Now, ang gagamitin natin, featured tarot deck natin for this month ay nakakakilig because this is really the latest na, huling-huli at least. Regalo to sa akin ng partner ko. Thank you, baby. Regalo to sa akin ni Marcel. Noong 2019 when we went to Bangkok in one of our trips. And this is the Book of Shadows na Book of Shadows Tarot. And kung medyo nagiging familiar, takutin mo naman yung ano niya. If you are a fan in the 90s ng Charmed, so medyo familiar even yung the triquetra. Very familiar yung sign, no? And even in that series, the Book of Shadows is actually the book that they're using to store all of their spells from one generation to another. And I'm such a huge fan of that series. Kaya nung nakita ko to, talagang binili niya para sa akin. Now, itong gagamitin nating na tarot for today, in our tonight session rather, alam mo, it's a 2-in-1 na tarot deck. Dalawa siya sa isang And yung isang style ng tarot deck is a reflection of a person living a dual life. A person living a spiritual life and a person living a normal life na merong career outside, may family, etc. And the other tarot deck naman is a life wherein solely you are living a spiritual life. So napaka-interesting ng tarot deck na to. Itong gagamitin natin. And we will also have two types of cards na pwede natin makuha pag magtatanong tayo. Pwedeng major cards, pwedeng minor cards. Pag major cards yung nakukuha natin, that means ang mga kasagutan, it's going to be a very clear blessing and pwede ring warning na clear na clear. Pero kung minor cards ang makukuha natin, di naman ibig sabihin hindi siya maganda, malalaman mo lang how much more effort or how much more energies ang i-improve natin para mas makapag-manifest ng maganda. So, 3 cards ang kukunin natin lagi kada magtatanong tayo because it symbolizes your past energy, current energy, and kung saan papunta yung mga energies natin. Kaya naman talagang you will have a very huge overview of things. Okay? Oh, ang dami nyo ng chismisan pala dyan. Okay? So, oh my gosh, yung anak ko. Hi, Lilay. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. And, hello then, Liz. See you on Saturday. Nako, excited ka na ba sa Reiki class natin? Okay. Hi, Aina. I really love your username. Hello, Aina. Good evening. Okay. And good morning from Ohio. Oh gosh, from Ohio. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. If you have any questions, you want to join our session, libre lang po magtanong. All you need to do, again, is to share the live video and then make sure that you take a screenshot and then send it in our Facebook page. It's Everyday Reiki with Marky, and then we will go through your questions. By the way, there's going to be a lucky winner, one lucky winner of 1,000 pesos worth of Crystal Abundance Bracelet, courtesy of our official partner. It's at celestialblue.ph. And by the way, ganito po yung magiging bagong instructions natin. So if you're going to join in for sessions natin, gusto nyo magtanong ng mga questions, all you need to do is share yung live video natin. But if gusto ninyong manalo at the end of our session, kung gusto ninyong manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth of Crystal Abundance Bracelet, we have a new instruction for that. So ang gagawin po natin, if you want to win yung ating bracelets, just like these, what I'm wearing, you will need to go to either the Facebook page or the Instagram account of Celestial Blue. It's at celestialblue.ph, and yung blue niya is BLEU. And then please share any of the products that are showcased there. Any bracelets, so you can post it on the feeds or post it in your stories. And once na-repost nyo na siya, that is gonna be your entry for tonight. And lahat po ng entries na yan mamaya before the end of our session, we will announce kung sino yung ating lucky winner. Okay? So, okay, simulan na natin yung session natin for tonight. So, I'm excited to see. Naku, ang dami nating entries. Pero sige, let's see. Okay, tingnan muna natin. But, anong tawag dito? Yung pinaka-first honor natin, teka, eto na. Okay. Ay, teka lang. Okay. We will start off with a very important na ano. It's a very important na question because wow, health ang question ng ating first participant. And that's so rare. That's so rare na mag-uumpisa ang ating session with a health question kasi normally kung hindi pag-ibig, career ang mga question natin. But yung ating pero here is a little, nako, so pakinggan natin ang question ng ating ng ating participant. Pwede po ba mag-ask ng health ko for the second quarter of the year? And kanina kasi, isa sa unang-una kasi talaga siya nag-send. Tinatanong ko, meron ka ba nararamdaman ngayon? Wala naman daw. Pero ito ang sinabi niya, kasi may bukol-bukol po ako na hindi ko nagpapa-check up. Tsaka yung ulo ko minsan po parang nasakit. Nakakatakot. Baka iniisip ko aneurysm. Ay, hindi yan aneurysm. Yung sa ulo mo, hindi yan. Kalma lang, kalma lang. I will, about yung mga headaches natin, anong tawag? Okay, so here's one thing na I will tell everybody. So, kung sometimes out of nowhere, you start getting headaches, okay? So not unless maybe that you lack sleep, or maybe you're in front of your computer for a long time. Yung in short, talagang pwedeng may eye strain tayo, or talagang medyo the environment, o kaya if you have mga error of refraction, o kaya talagang may mga challenges tayo sa paningin natin, not unless you have those and you get a headache all of a sudden, you know what your body is telling you? What your body is telling you is that your body is sensing a not so good energy. Okay, so that's how one of the best ways that your body is telling you there is not so good energy around us, and there's a tendency na absorb natin siya. So our body has a very good way of warning us. Through body pain to physical manifestation of body pain, binibigyan niya tayo ng mga possible warnings na may mga unnecessary or not so good energies around us. Now, pakiramdaman din yung sarili natin, most especially if you're going through something, if you're working, or if you're doing an important thing, and then you start getting those headaches. Because more often than not, if you are focused on doing one thing, yung energy natin nakafocus doon, and that means you may be feeling very sensitive doon sa ating task on hand. Let's say kung kinaasikaso natin yung trabaho natin and there are tasks, let's say you have a deadline na kailangan yung habulin, tapos nandun yung focus mo, that means you are really wanting to really be concentrating sa ginagawa natin, and that's an opportunity for lingering energy. So also, kumbaga, that's their cue. Hindi naman sa parang guguluhin lang nila tayo or what, but also that's an opportunity for them to see a person vulnerable. Okay, so kapag may vulnerable situation tayo because we're really needing focus and then we started getting headaches, that's an opportunity for us to remind ourselves, okay, so ground yourself. And how do you ground yourself? You can take a break. You can also eat something, because food is also grounding. You can drink water. That's really natural remedies on how you can relieve yourself. But also prayers. Prayers are very strong. Now, if you're a Reiki practitioner like me, you have energy healing. So of course, my strongest suggestion is to always use your Reiki. Natutunan naman na sa mga students ko na nandito, alam naman natin on how to protect and shield ourselves using our Reiki. Yan ang mga kailangan natin. So that's one of my strongest na Pero, so sabi ko nga, that's addressing the headache. So sabi ko nga, hindi naman, and Reiki practitioner din kasi to. Student ko yan. So I'm telling you, yung mga headaches na yun is not really something that you should be worried about. Pero tingnan natin yung mga certain na mga bukol that you're referring to. And may ask, saang bukol ba yung sinasabi mong ano? Saang bukol? Sa chest area? Okay, chest area. Paki-confirm if I'm sensing it right na sa may chest area yung mga sinasabi mong mga bukol-bukol. Sige, tingnan natin. Kasi specific yung sinasabi nung ano no first participant natin na it's about the second quarter. Oh, ay teka nga. Okay, kalma lang. Okay, kung makatama naman ang dami exclamation point. O, kalma lang. Okay, sandali. Okay, so kung sa may chest area yung ano natin, tignan. Okay. Kung chest area, syempre, ganito po kasi yun. Okay. So, anytime, yung parte ng mga katawan natin, anytime, sabi ko nga, kung yung halimbawa, dito sa ulo natin nararamdaman yung mga headaches. Why? Because our head, mostly nandiyan yung brain natin. So that's also used for our discernment, basically. We use our mind so that we can discern mga decisions natin. That's why din siya magmamanifest. Kung may kailangan i-warning sa atin, kung saan siya area pumapalo, it's because nandun yung function ng area, nandun din yung lesson. And here, pag yun yung pang discernment, nandyan yung kailangan ng opportunity, diyan papalo yung sign. Okay? However, kung nandito sa may dibdib natin, and also this is associated with our chakra system and the chest. Actually, from here up to here, this is our heart chakra. And our heart chakra, this is the chakra where we store our emotions. Okay, so any form of emotions, not necessarily what current emotions we are processing, but I'm telling you, our heart, if yung mind natin, it stores memory na it's stemming down from all, ever since we started remembering things, okay, kung nagkaroon tayo ng muang or nakapag-develop tayo ng muang or yung ating free will, okay, so that's the time that we get to start storing the memories natin. And if the mind does that, stores memory, ang heart natin, it stores emotions. Ever since we can recall, we can remember, all forms of emotions are stored there. Now, most especially, we are referring to emotions that are, ang pinaka magre-resonate dyan talaga na emotions, most especially na kailangan natin i-address, by the way, are emotions that are associated to experiences. Experiences na during that time na na-experience natin, pwedeng grabe, pwedeng traumatic, pwedeng we were emotionally traumatized, and the goal is to address them. Pero kapag hindi natin na-address yung ating how we emotionally felt during that time, or kung halimbawa, hindi naman na siya current situation, ibig sabihin, nalampasan na natin yung pinagdadaanan natin, regardless if you were able to address the situation or not, because aminin ninyo, may mga times sa atin na when we are going through something, kapag tapos na yung sitwasyon, hindi naman ibig sabihin na we are able to address whatever we need to address according to our situations or life experiences. When that happens, kumbaga we are just setting it aside or we are sweeping the dust under the rug, it doesn't mean na wala na siya. Isinantab. We just set it aside. Ang hirap. Isinantabi. Ayun, very good. Isinantabi lang natin. But not addressing it, it's like also, sisingilin tayo niyan. Para yung ticking time bomb na any given time, pag hindi pa rin na-address or more so, imagine mo, one experience pa lang yan. So every time, kung yan ang mga nagiging, if we result to just setting aside these emotions without facing them, without addressing them, or without filter, if we are also trying to evade or escape the situation, pag naipon yan, this can manifest into an illness in the long run. So, this is the reason why oftentimes natutubuan tayo ng mga bukol-bukol. And isa yan sa mga and for some of you, because we've been doing Tarot Tuesdays for more than a year now, and sa mga students ko na nandito, na alam ang story ko, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer in 2019. And then, so she's gone through, and left side yon, she's gone through yung kanyang operation, tinanggal na yung buong left breast, and she's gone through chemotherapy for 6 months, and she was done with it after 6 months. And I've been telling my mom about the lesson because sabi ko nga, hindi tayo bulletproof dyan. Hindi lahat tayo, bawat isa sa atin, hindi tayo bulletproof sa mga ganitong lessons. And after 6 months, she was done with it. She's done fighting cancer. Sad thing that happened a month after that, exactly a month after that, yung sister ko naman, same case, pero mas grabe yung naging ano sa kanya because I remember my mom got diagnosed with cancer, stage 1 pa lang. Yung sister ko, when she got diagnosed a month after, nag-stage 2 yun sa kanya. So she's gone through the same thing, pero mas grabe yung naging ano sa kanya, treatment sa kanya. Also, ni-remove din yung buong left breast, chemotherapy for 6 months, but after the 6 months of chemotherapy, it was radiation. And now finally, she's done with everything. So she's now recovering. Pero that's one of the same reasons. Emotions that we are not able to address. And I'm telling you, kaya naman minsan, pakiramdaman din natin yung mga katawan natin, most especially for women, hindi naman ibig sabihin because women are only emotional. Hindi siya ganun. We're gonna break the barriers that it is not only about that na paano yung mga lalaki we don't usually get that. Hindi lang totoo yan. And you know what, since I'm also a very emotional person and I'm not gonna be shy sharing my own past. There was a time nung hindi pa ako spiritual in 2010. I got tuberculosis. I got diagnosed with tuberculosis and I was on treatment for 6 months. It is because I was too very emotional and going through many things and hindi ko siya ina-address and nagpapatong-patong siya. So, ang heart chakra natin, hindi lang heart directly ang kanyang target, most especially kung yung ano natin, the area itself and the heart and the lungs are in the same area. So usually mas nagiging evident lang 'yan for women, pero for men hindi tayo bulletproof sa mga ganyan. And sa akin, ang nag-manifest sa akin is tuberculosis. And for me, if you've known me 10 years ago, I was very, very active. I was working out 6 to 7 times in a week. And I was very keen with following a very strict diet. In short, medyo bored ako during time na yon. Talagang that was my goal, to show off and flaunt, basically. But even so, kaya alam mo, honestly, during the and I have office mates here watching. Si Gail Echeverria. There was a time na talagang nawala ako sa office for a long period of time because I was going through therapy na hindi nila alam, and hindi ko lang siya dinidisclose noon because ang sabi lang din sa akin ng clinic is to not disclose because it is my right as a person to not disclose very sensitive na mga illnesses like that. So I was MIA for a long time. And then bumalik lang ako, and then I have a preferred shift. And because meron akong ganun. I was being treated with tuberculosis and I cannot go to work because the clinic cannot risk na ako yung magsispread, no? Because it's airborne. Imagine that. And inaaway ko yung clinic before just because I am physically healthy. I'm someone who works out, very keen in my workout, and also very keen in my diet. Pero still nagkasakit ako. Why? Because our body is not only a reflection na parang if you're training your body, if you are giving your body the right amount of exercise, the right amount of nutrition, physically you can be very healthy. But remember, our physical life aspect is only a portion of the whole being ng aspeto ng mga buhay natin. May emotional life aspect pa tayo. May mental life aspect pa tayo, and spiritual life aspects. All of those 4 life aspects all need to come together. Practically, I'm only just improving my health physically, pero I'm not doing something about my emotional health, about my mental health, and about my spiritual health. So, kumbaga, I'm only doing my fair share of what's in the surface para lang sa physical. I share the same thing with our first participant. Now, here is one good thing kasi ang pinaka-question niya is really targeting in the next quarter, second quarter. And tinanong ko sa kanya, meron bang ano ngayon? Meron bang nararamdaman specifically? Wala. Pero ang pinaka-concern is that. Now, most especially, dahil yung first participant natin is my student and meron siyang Reiki, so my strongest advice is to really use your Reiki for you to really help improve that. And believe it or not, may mga cases na ako ng mga students ko na natulungan on that. Natulungan on improving that, most especially sa emotions. Lalo na kung may nagma-manifest. I'm telling you, malakas yung Reiki natin. It can definitely help. But remember, kumbaga, getting to discover kung ano yung i-heal natin is only the tip of the iceberg. May commitment tayo to still address, to also make sure na, and how would we know, by the way, kung na-address na natin emotionally yung mga ganyang bagay? paano natin masisigurado na emotionally tayo talagang nakakapag-ano na, kapag fully na-recover na-address na natin. So, depending on many life experiences in which the step is for you to look back, for you to tap into your past experiences, most especially yung mga traumatic ones. Or it's not necessarily, baka mamaya iniisip nyo lang, it has to be something that's traumatic. Hindi lang siya limited to that. Any form of anger, any form of jealousy, any form of not so good, basically not so good emotions na mahilig nating i-process during that time, I'm telling you, na-absorb na yan ng heart chakra natin. So, if it's associated with given situations and experiences, my suggestion is for you to start, kailangan natin ng introspection. We need to go inward and for us to discover ano yung past experiences natin that before, medyo hindi natin masyadong comfortably natitignan so that we can address it one by one. The goal is for you to go back to those experiences. And alam mo, as a healer myself and as someone who's been doing my spiritual journey for the last 6 years, I'm telling you, I'm not yet done. I'm not yet done. I will never say that I am fully healed. I will never say that just because I have the opportunity to teach, just because I have the opportunity to share wisdom, it does not make me bulletproof. I may be okay now, pero sabi ko nga, may bukas pa. So we will not be certain kung ano yung mga experiences na may encounter natin in the future, which may also involve yung ating emotional health. So sabi ko nga, ma-address natin yung emotional health, hindi pa tayo tapos. Dahil meron pa tayong mental health na pinag-uusapan, may spiritual health pa tayong pag-uusapan. So in short, there are many aspects sa buhay natin na kailangan talaga natin na pagtuunan ng pansin. And hindi lang tayo, lucky are those that for the moment, wala talagang hinaharap na medyo grabe. Okay? So medyo maganda ang mga blessings sa atin ng Diyos. Maraming salamat. Pero sa mga wala namang currently pinagdadaanan, here is my strongest recommendation para sa inyong lahat. Start going back to your past experiences and really try to see if you're able to address them. And how would you know kung na-address na natin siya? So, syempre, kapag binalikan natin ang isang past experience at may konting kirot, ayan. So, minsan, you know what, nararamdaman ko siya before, yung talagang on a physical sense, yung literally parang kinakrush yung heart natin because ganyan ang impact ng emotions natin when we tap into our past memories. May mga ganyan. And if you feel like just simply tapping into that memory, ay may nararamdaman talaga tayong kirot, that's your cue. Okay, talagang I need to address that experience. Now, hindi naman natin maa-address yan ng sabay-sabay ng overnight. So this is really a process that you should be willing to go through. Now, how are you going to address it? I would strongly suggest to also see the root cause. Ano yung root cause? Ano yung naging root cause? Bakit it was emotionally traumatizing? Or why is it emotionally had affect you during that time? So I want you to see what is the root cause of everything. Halimbawa, I'll set a good example wherein ito mismo yung example sa pinagdaanan ko. Sa mga reasons why my heart chakra was really not good during that time is because I was processing so many emotions and I was hurting other people intentionally and unintentionally. Okay, because I was not being truthful. And the people, and those are my ex, okay? Mga ex, hindi ako truthful sa kanila. And then when we get to discuss these things, of course, emotionally, pag nare-realize mo na hindi magandang ginagawa mo, it takes a toll on you because syempre, nare-realize mo na hindi magandang ginagawa mo. So it takes a toll on you. So that's one. So you have to look back, bakit ko nagawa yung ganyan? Kung ikaw, if you're at fault, you have to discover ba't ko siya ginawa and what are the triggering emotions kaya ko siya ginagawa. So you have to also understand that. Or what is the underlying issue? Why you tend to do a certain thing? Why you tend to say these things? Why you get to act a certain way? You have to always ask, bakit? And my strongest tip is to always be very honest sa sarili natin. That's the only time that you will get to discover that. Kasi kung hindi tayo honest sa sarili natin, paano natin madidiscover kung anong kailangan nating i-heal sa ating sarili? So I want you to be very brave. Be very brave. You have to be very, very brave so that you can also have the courage for you to really face the truth because more often than not, it takes a lot of acceptance. Okay, I've processed the same thing and continuously I'm doing the same thing. In so doing, sabi ko nga, Kapag napaprocess mo na siya, isa-isa, acceptance is one, most especially kung halimbawa, the past situation is not the current situation anymore, that's a very good blessing. That means, hindi mo na hindi na madadagdagan yung possible trigger of those emotions. And for you to find the root cause, it gives you the opportunity to also do better in your now and in your future. That's one way of addressing it. And syempre, sabi ko nga isa sa mga paraan para hindi tayo maliligaw ng landas when it comes to healing, learning the lesson. That means kapag nalaman mo na kung saan ka nagkamali, for you to do better in the future. Mas gagalingan na yung mga decisions natin. Mas gagalingan na yung mga, basically yung energies natin, yung thoughts, your emotions, decisions, and actions. I-improve natin yung energy natin basically. So that, pag nandyan na naman yung certain situations and you are again left with that certain possible cycle na mga pinipili natin ng energies natin, you can do better. And when you do, and the thing is, you have to do it consistently, ha? Kasi hindi pwedeng gagawin natin isang beses and feeling natin it will cover everything na we are gonna receive a guarantee na hindi na natin siya, it's not gonna be a similar challenge in the future. Walang guarantee ganyan, lalo kahit sa akin. It will always humble you, yes, but it will never guarantee na hindi mauulit. That's why you have to be very keen. You have to be very consistent. And you have to keep doing it over and over so that we can really say na natutunan na natin. And then when you are very confident na, okay, medyo natututunan ko na, okay, medyo naiiba ko na yung energy ko, nai-improve ko na yung energy ko, now you have to go back to those certain memories. You have to go back. Now, pakiramdaman mo, does it still have the impact? Medyo ganun pa rin ba siya kasakit? Do I still feel yung parang kinukurot yung puso ko when I tap into those old memories? And kapag meron pa rin, be honest. Oh, meron pa rin konti. Then keep working on it. Keep working on it and then keep doing your checks. Pag chinek mo siya, someday, somehow, and someday it would truly heal. Not because it's just through time, but because of your conscious effort. Your conscious effort to do better. Your conscious effort to always choose what's best for you. Consciously and consistently. Do that. Do that. And for you, lalo na dun sa current participant natin, regrets. These are mostly regrets. So you'll be surprised that the regrets that we processed, the regrets that we processed in the past, hindi na natin mababalik yung nakaraan, syempre. We can only just learn from it. So if you are also someone who also lingers mga emotions of regret, the best way is for us to really stand on our own feet and do better and to really be a go-getter. Yun ang kailangan natin. Yun lamang, and I'm not seeing any other opportunities. But sabi ko nga, ang pinaka-important sa atin is that we have to heal emotionally and be very brave. Kasi here's the thing. Imagine mo even yung feeling mo na you feel a little not so brave na ipa-check yan, kita mo, that's fear. So that's another emotion. A not so good emotion uli. So my strongest suggestion is to really go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. Go see a doctor and also do your fair share because para sa'yo naman yan. And that no matter what we're going to discover, it will only just help you. You go to the expert not because you are going to, parang itatakutin mo lang yung sarili mo. You're going to see a doctor so that you will free yourself from fear. So that may affirmation ka. So I want you to really do, oh my God, regrets. Kung maka-oh my God ka na, makalma lang. No? So, yun nga, we still need to see a doctor for this. Dahil ang doktor ay doktor. Ako, I'm here. I can be your emotional and spiritual doctor. Pero sabi ko nga, ang expertise ko is how you will act from within. Physical, nag-manifest na yan. Kapag may mga manifestation na tayo ng mga sakit, hindi natin pwedeng isantabi ang expertise ng ating mga doktor. Kailangan natin ng mga doktor. So, my strongest suggestion, huwag ding matakot to see a doctor para makaka-relieve din yan ng mga possible fear that we are also processing na pwede pang makadagdag. So, para hindi na madagdagan yan, kung ang goal talaga natin is to keep addressing this, then let's be very brave. Okay? Walang masama kung ano ang ating madidiscover. It can only help you even more. Okay? So, yun lamang. And make sure na continuously gagamitin ng ating mga ang Reiki natin. Yan ang binigay sa atin for a very good reason. Okay? And thank you for joining Tarot Tuesdays. So good evening everybody. And ako, napakahaba pala ng first question natin. Pero okay lang yan dahil importante talaga yung ganyan eh. And I'm so happy we started with health. Dahil sabi ko nga, by the way, meron din ako mga emotional warnings para sa inyo. But before I go through that, hello, good evening. Ang dami nyo nga pala mga, okay, Blue Cloud Revelation. Hello, ay, good evening. Your accent is difficult for me. I'm so sorry naman. Slow. Sorry na. Sorry na. Okay. So my name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher, and welcome to Tarot Tuesdays. Now, every Tarot Tuesdays, I'm here to provide free reading. If you have any questions concerning your health, very good with health, concerning your love life, concerning your career, you can ask for free. All you need to do if you really want to participate, all you need to do is share the live video, take a screenshot of that, and then please send the screenshot on our Facebook page. It's at Everyday Reiki with Marky, and then first come, first serve for our questions and rosters for tonight. By the way, one lucky winner of 1,000 pesos worth of Crystal Abundance bracelet, courtesy of our official partner. It's at celestialblue.ph. If you would want to participate and win 1,000 pesos worth of Crystal Abundance bracelet, all you need to do, it's actually separate from our instructions if you would want to join our reading session. But if you would want to win a lucky bracelet, courtesy of Celestial Blue, all you need to do, please visit the Facebook or the Instagram page of celestialblue.ph. Share any of the posts in your stories or in your timeline, in your feeds, and then that serves as your entry. And do not forget to take a screenshot of that. And then before we end our session for tonight, one lucky winner. By the way, for the rest of the participants, do not worry if you're not so lucky for tonight. This also serves as your official entry because at the end of the month, we have a grand raffle for all of our participants for the month. You are up for grabs. You're going to get workshop passes for everybody. So we have emotional healing, we have crystal work for modern living, Reiki 1 classes up for grabs. So everybody's going to be a winner here. Okay na ba yung accent ko doon? Baka sorry na kung medyo na okay, so, but thank you po. Welcome. Okay. So, at dahil na pa-English tayo ng konti, medyo okay na yun. Kota na tayo for tonight dahil medyo low blood na po ako. Okay. Okay. Cool, sure. Francis, ayan, this is my Bindu because I'm a practicing Hindu. So, we did our prayers earlier. Okay, but thank you for recognizing that. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, before I forgot, speaking of emotions, for the next coming 2 more days, because it started today. So from the 12th of April until the 14th of April, be ready to go through an emotional roller coaster ride because astrologically speaking, under Vedic astrology, there are 3 major planets that are moving and shifting, and that has a very direct effect on our emotions. So my strongest recommendation, do not make any major decisions the next coming days, the next 2 days basically. Do not make any major decisions, do not make any or do not sign up for any contracts, do not make any other possible commitments, because if most especially you are imbalanced with your emotions and when with your thoughts coming into play, it may not be very beneficial for you. So the goal for the next 2 days is to just observe and do nothing and discern with no bias, with no judgment. Okay? Hello, Lilay. Salamat sa nagtanong ng first question. Swak need siya for me and my mom who has a health concern right now. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Marky. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lilay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, next question. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Yung next nating participant is also asking for health. Wow, I'm so glad. Thank you, thank you. But tingnan natin naman yung health for our current participant. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, so there are no other evident concerns but the throat chakra. And I think you know why. Okay, so here is really one good reflection every time our throat chakra is now the issue. So saan naman ang ating throat chakra? So if this is the heart chakra, okay, so it should be here up to here sa may collarbone, heart chakra. That's also the start of our throat chakra, in which it's from here up to here. So may below the eyes. So kasama ang nose, kasama yung ears natin. That is our throat chakra. Now, the throat chakra is the seat of manifestation. And how does it manifest? Anything that we say, anything that we verbalize, okay, or not verbalize. So it goes both ways. Okay, so if you keep, anytime that you're going to use your voice, what comes out from your mouth? Is it something that's empowering? Is it something that's helping others? Is it something that does good for other people? Are you using your voice to support, to love people? Or are you doing the opposite? Or also, are you someone using your voice, or you're supposed to use your voice, but you decided to keep mum about it? That's another opportunity. So being mindful of what you say or what you are not saying is a possible toll on your throat chakra. Okay? So I arise, not verbalized. Sorry na. Okay. So here's really another important thing every time that we realize. So sometimes that's also one of the decisions that we make because we want to be the bigger person. More often than not, if the decision is for you to keep mum about it, o kung talagang hindi natin talaga sasabihin, kesa may masabi akong hindi maganda, tatahimik na lang ako. Okay? There is no wrong when you choose to be the bigger person. Of course, when you really wanted to be a bigger person, most especially in that situation, yung talagang alam mo, pag binuksan natin yung bibig natin, hindi talaga magiging maganda yung masasabi natin. And imbes na masabi natin to also hurt other people's feelings, kung ang decision natin is to also just help ourselves, not create any possible friction, or to not make the situation any worse, and we result to just keeping mum about it, it's not entirely bad. But here is the thing. Here is another possible. If it keeps lingering, yung tipong hindi na natin na-address, halimbawa, so whenever we choose to do that, tandaan natin, if we choose to keep mom, we have to stay true to our intention. It's different if we are just keeping mum about it, but it keeps piling up from within. So in short, talagang hindi na tayo, we are just technically being silent, but we are not doing any steps for us to address it on our own. Kasi tandaan natin na, here's the thing about being silent. And if the decision is for us to be the bigger person, your cue is for you to address these life experiences from within, but the cue is for you to address them. For you is your responsibility is to find anything and everything that it takes so that from internally you will not have a direct toll in that situation. So for you the responsibility is to address it. So halimbawa, may hindi ka masabi, your goal is to be at peace with it. Not just because you're choosing peace so that you will not say things, kailangan we have to stay true to the integrity that we're holding. So in short, if you choose to be silent because you don't want to create further friction, the goal for you to address that from within is to be at peace with it. To be at peace. But if we are not gonna be at peace with it, it can keep piling up. And remember, this can be just a situation from one person driven by one particular experience. But remember, hindi natin makokontrol kung ano pa yung mga may encounter natin in the future. So that means, ma-address natin yung isa, there's really a lot more to take care of. So the mindfulness that I'm going to share to everybody, similarly to how our heart chakra is the recommendation sa heart chakra natin, it is practically the same when it comes to the other chakras natin, lalo sa throat natin. And my strongest recommendation naman para sa'yo, most especially kasi may happening today, di ba? May nangyari na today concerning the throat chakra talaga. Because, you know what? Here are the opportunities where it can manifest in our throat chakra. Remember, ang daming areas ng throat chakra natin, ang daming organs na kasama here in this area. So, nandyan yung nose natin, nandyan yung mouth natin, di ba? And then yung throat natin mismo. Kasama din yung ears natin dyan, kasama yung ears. So imagine that, ang daming pwedeng madamay. So every single time, the first telltale signs that we are needing to focus on our throat chakra, it can be a simple toothache. Or ako, ang pinaka-evidence sa akin, colds. Sinisipon ako. Okay? And pero kapag medyo tumaas-taas yung pag medyo, you can really see yung gravity ng situation depending on how it manifests. If it manifests pain, in short, your body is really telling you, hey, it's poking you right there. Hello, you need to address something. And the more painful it is, the more it will get your attention. So you can see the first in the initial telltale signs, yeah, sipon or colds. That's enough. But the more intense it gets, the more that we really need to look at it. Why? Kasi nga, every time na the pain increases, it's your body really getting your attention. Because the more we feel the pain, the possible manifestation of pain, the more that manonotice natin siya. And sabi ko nga, we just don't know what the body is telling us. This is the real body language. This is what the body is telling us, only that we are not sure how to interpret it. And this is how we get to discern it through the spiritual path, and most especially focusing on our chakra system. This is how. And you know what? If we are only just mindful on what every chakra represents and what we can do to improve it, with or without an energy healing modality, you can definitely live a very healthy life. And the thing is, we just don't know what the body is telling us. And every single body tells us differently, because lahat tayo may kanya-kanyang life lessons. May kanya-kanya ding mga life experiences. Okay, so the least thing you would want to happen is for us to not be really focused kung ano sinasabi ng katawan natin. That's why it's very important that you listen to your body. It's very important that you honor what your body is also telling you. Now, my strongest suggestion, lalo na since ang nagiging ano natin dito, ang nagiging result natin dito is how we also tend to keep mum about it. You have to be very much at peace with everything. Also, tsaka hindi lang, actually it goes both ways. Nasabi, tsaka hindi nasasabi. It goes both ways. So in short, as simple as being very mindful of how we utilize our throat chakra or how we utilize our voice, it can definitely make a difference. It can help us. It can definitely heal us naturally. So in these cases, para lalo dun sa ating current participant, the mindfulness of it and be at peace. The discernment on what you're gonna do, okay. First, before you start responding, discern well. If I choose to verbalize these things, will it do good? Will it be for greater good? With no bias, with no judgment. Because sabi ko nga, makakapagsinungaling tayo sa ibang tao, but wag na wag sa sarili. So you have to be very keen on understanding, am I really someone who's very truthful when I process these things? Just be very brave for you to really discover any opportunities for you to improve, because that's really the only time that we can. So my suggestion is, one, be mindful, go through a certain process of discernment if you're going to verbalize something. And if your decision is to keep mum about it, because if you feel like verbalizing things can create a possible friction, if your decision is for you to keep mum about it or for you to be silent, okay, for you to not say anything, be at peace with it. Be very much at peace and be very grateful that you chose peace over other other unnecessary energies. This is also a way for you to also help yourself, because, and I read it earlier, napakaganda, and ang napakaganda ng isa sa mga nabasa ko kanina from one of my fellow Reiki masters. May post siya na ganun, na parang how other people treat you is their karma, but how you respond is your own karma. Because it's really true. How other people will treat you, sabi ko nga, we don't have any control over other people's energy. We don't have any control over what they decide, how they process their thoughts and emotions, and how they act on things. We will never have control over that. But if it's something that is directed to us, if in a form of treatment, in a form of experience, how we respond in return, karma naman natin yun. So be very mindful, be very gentle with yourself, and be very at peace. Ground yourself and always be very bold in learning these lessons. Always be in the eye on how you can always improve your energy, but never be too cruel sa sarili natin. Be very gentle, okay? Because again, everything is a process. I myself go through these several processes before I start responding on things, because sabi ko nga, I've been there many times. I've been there many times na hindi ko masyadong ginalingan when it comes to processing energies, and it did not do good. But the mindfulness, the truthfulness, we maintain, consciously choose, it will improve our energy. It will make us very healthy. Okay? So thank you for joining Tarot Tuesdays. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher, and welcome to your official Tuesday night habit. And this is Tarot Tuesdays. So, if you have any questions, if you want to participate, any questions about your love life, your career, and your health, libre lang magtanong. Just please share this live video in your social media and then take a screenshot dahil importante ang resibo. And then, pakisend po sa ating Facebook page. It's Everyday Reiki with Marky. And then, libre na magtanong. Also, sa mga gustong manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth of Crystal Abundance Bracelet, courtesy of our official partner Celestial Blue, meron po tayong separate instructions for that. Kung gusto nyong manalo at the end of the session, all you need to do, go to the Instagram or Facebook page of celestialblue.ph, and yung blue is BLEU, and then share any of the posts either in your feeds or in your stories and take a screenshot. That shall serve as your official entry for tonight. Okay. Oh, love you then. Love you. Okay. And then, go na tayo dahil ang dami pa magtatanong. Let's go. Ay, ang dami dyan. Hello, thank you everybody. Sige, mag-chat lang kayo dyan. Okay, so, tingnan natin. Okay. Pa-read ko lang, Master, kung makakakuha ba ako ng studio unit sa Arcove. Wow! Ang gana naman ng loob. Gusto kong kumuha. Yung client ko para sa daughter niya. Ay, sige, sige. Okay, next. Okay. Okay. Ay, wait lang. Sorry, wait lang. Wait, the question is, I have to reread that again. Makakakuha ba ng studio unit ng Arcovia yung client ko para sa daughter niya? So the reading is for your client, not for you. Nako, medyo overstepping yon. We cannot ask the question for other people because if I do that, tas wala naman tayong permission, hindi po siya pwede. So if you want, since you can ask another question, pero unfortunately hindi ko masasagot yan because it's a case that's overstepping. Kasi if you're gonna analyze, you're wanting to see kung makakakuha yung client mo para sa anak niya. So hindi siya pwede. Sorry na. But if you can ask, I'll give you time, ask another question and akong bahala doon. Okay? So take time so that you can check your other and then I'll get back to you in a bit. So, but yung next muna tayo, ha? Para maging efficient tayo sa time natin. May habang pila. Okay, okay, tingnan natin. So, good evening, Master. Namaskaran. Just want to ask po for my health. Wow, very good. Okay, puro health. I'm so happy. Yeah, of course. Pero here is the thing. Naku po, ha? Next. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, nako, student ko na naman, pero may Reiki. So, first of all, kailangan ang Reiki ginagamit yan, ha? Pero tignan muna natin ang ating tignan muna natin ang energy nitong student ko. So ayun nga, okay, hindi tayo medyo consistent na nakakaano. Because as a Reiki practitioner myself, and lalo na pag student ko, when I check the energy, alam ko yung katawan. I know the auric field, and I know the chakras that are filled with so much Reiki. I would easily know it. And I would also know kung nagagamit but not consistently. Okay, hindi consistent. Okay, so okay, so here's the thing. And by the way, here is something that I always remind my students, but not just my students. This is a reminder for everybody. Kapag alam na natin how our body really works, the real body language ng katawan natin, and we ask about health, and basically, ang katawan natin, for us to get the best health, dapat we also give the best conditions. That's why we are always recommended by our doctors to sleep 7 to 8 hours in a day. That we are recommended a very well-balanced diet. We are recommended to have at least 7 to 8 glasses of water in a day. We are also recommended to exercise. We are basically recommended to do all the best things for our body. But remember, the goal is for us to be conscious about it and for us to be very consistent that we keep choosing it, not for anyone else, but for us. Kung gusto natin na maging healthy tayo, dapat susundin natin ang mga payo ng doktor. Susundin natin yung mga kailangan ng maganda sa katawan natin. 'Pag di natin siya nasusunod, hindi din tayo siyempre yung katawan natin nagre-respond lang according sa kung anong binibigay natin, okey? So primarily, one of the things okay, so I see some opportunity, my attention is directed towards the head, so I really know that you're processing many thoughts, you're processing many decisions right now, and you are also feeling a lot of pressure balancing all of your life aspects, career, your education. Okay, there are many things that you're really processing in your mind right now. Also, wala pa yung personal na pinagdadaanan natin. I know that you're also processing something emotionally. Okay, so I know that you're also processing something emotionally. And at the same time, it's now starting to take toll in your discernment because your emotions, aside from the personal life, meron tayong mga kailangan mga goals na ma-achieve that we keep processing in our mind. And then we don't get enough sleep. Imagine the things that you're giving. Even if you're very conscious about the food intake, maybe exercise here and there, but I'm telling you again, that's just on the physical. Now your emotions are coming into play. Now your emotions may also not give the best pagdating sa thoughts natin kasi if you're feeding too much emotions and you are needing to focus mentally, how can you focus kung may nararamdaman? Kasi one way or another, your mind will keep reminding you, "Ops, tandaan mo, look, oh, you're processing some emotions and I cannot focus fully if ang dami niyang sinasabi." Okay? So, they really work together. Not naman na kontrabida yan sa isa't isa, but they're just a very clear reflection of how we need to be focused on all of our goals, dreams, and aspirations. So that being said, you know what? My say is address your emotional challenges right now. The imbalances that you're feeling emotionally, if you're able to address that, you can regain your balance again because you're someone who's used to it. You know how to balance many things all at the same time. You know how to multitask and you know how to be very good at it. But the thing is, pag tatlo-tatlo na yung kailangan nating balansehin. Imagine, you're babalansehin natin yung career, babalansehin yung studies, tapos you have yung yung heart natin. So imagine para tayo nakikipag-boxing sa tatlong kalaban. We only have 1/3 chance for us to win. Versus kung one-on-one lang ang laban, you get 50-50 chance. So, may say, you address your heart emotional imbalances and then the rest in your mind, mas kayang-kaya mo. But the thing is, you also need to have ample rest for you to go through everything efficiently. Lalo na for people who are needing to do many things, you need to be very mindful of your rest because I always say this, parang gadget yung katawan natin. So, if we're running low on sleep, it's like literally running low on battery, but we need to make a lot of things. We need to create a lot of things. We need to accomplish many things. Pero wala tayong battery and how can we do that ng low bat tayo? If the gadgets nga, yung gadgets natin kapag na low bat, nahihirapan tayong, ipa-plug in natin kagad yan. We really want to charge it right away. The decision is for it, for our gadgets to recover. Kung low bat siya, gusto natin magkaroon ng battery para ma-utilize natin. Pero yung katawan natin, pag di natin nabibigay yan, I'm telling you, it may not necessarily give you the best as well. So it's like putting so much pressure on your life na you want to accomplish many things, but the body, one way or another, bibigay yan. Okay? So, my strongest suggestion, address your heart, and then the rest, yung the studies and the career can be very much addressed. And here's the thing, naku po, may pumasok na naman, and then yung personal responsibilities at home. Now, I'm seeing another thing. The personal responsibilities at home is something that also lingers. So, imagine, you are wanting to accomplish many things. You have many great goals that you have. But sabi ko nga, isa-isa lang ang laban, okay? My strongest suggestion, address your heart first, address the emotions that you're processing right now, so that at least you can decide even better kasi mahirap na yung you're feeling too much emotions and then there are many things that you're processing through your mind. How can you really focus? Gamitin yung Reiki natin. Binigay yan sa atin for a good reason. Okay, if you're not using it, talagang, and here is one strong reminder for all of my students. If you have the strongest tool to use so that you can heal but you're not using it, then your body will really reveal many things. Kasi kumbaga may paraan na para ma-improve yung energy natin pero hindi natin ginagamit. And alam natin may pwede tayong gamitin. It's gonna be on you. It's gonna be on you. And sayang. And sayang yung investment natin. Remember the time that you invested on this ay hindi rin biro, only for you to set it aside. And this is not the first time na I've experienced ganyan. Not just for my students, but also yung mga kaklase ko when I was still a student myself with my teacher. Nakikita ko yung mga kaklase ko before na sobrang sipag until finally hindi ko na masyado nakikita and then hindi na rin masyado nagpa-practice and then they get reminded as well. And the least thing you would want to happen is that magma-manifest na siya sa'yo. Pag nag-manifest na siya sa'yo and then tsaka pa lang natin maaalala. Or kung hindi pa tayo nakaka-experience ng something na grabe, mabilis mag-manifest ang isang Reiki practitioner. We can manifest great things easily, but also the opposite if we are not mindful. Because the universe listens to us intentionally, closely. So the mindfulness that I'm going to give you is that use your gifts really well because not everybody has the opportunity for that. But you have it. Sayang naman. Okay, and in the end, if you know what will be best for you pero hindi mo pa rin siya pipiliin, that's really gonna be on you na. So be mindful, be very conscious about the energies that you process, and remember you have a strong tool to use. Use it and use it well, and really see it as a gift because it is. Thanks for joining Tarot Tuesdays. So, good evening everybody. May time pa ba tayo? Yes, may time pa naman tayo. Good evening everybody. My name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher, and welcome to Tarot Tuesdays. I want to say hi to, hello, Mary, hello, I see you there. Thank you so much for joining. Teka, ang dami, I need to backread many things. Okay, sandali. Just subscribe and like. May I ask a question? Sure. Ay, thank you naman, Olga. Thank you so much. Kung gusto nating kung gusto niyo mag-participate, may time pa naman, share the live video and then take a screenshot of that and then paki-send sa ating Facebook page. It's in Everyday Reiki with Marky. Okay? So may pila lang tayo but may time pa tayo, may chance pa tayo makasagot. And then what else? Okay. Raquel Regasa, namaskaram sa'yo. Na-miss po kita, Master. Tayo, na-miss din kita. Maraming salamat naman at may time ka tonight. Nasa work po kasi ako now. Ay, very good. Ay, galingan mo sa work, ha? Gabing-gabi na dyan. Or, nandito ka ba sa Philippines? Kung nandito ka sa Philippines, nako galingan at maging pasensyoso dahil alam mo na, baka 18 hours ka rin nagtatrabaho, ha? Nako, saludo ako sa iyo. Okay, so galingan natin. Okay, so bless you. So tingnan naman na. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched our weekly tarot reading, it's gonna be okay. It's the goal for this week is to really be extra mindful. So if you haven't watched our weekly tarot reading, please watch it because it will always guide you. Also, on a Vedic astrology perspective, kita niyo naman, kaya tayo show for tonight. On a Vedic astrology perspective, the next coming 2 days, actually, it started today. Don't be surprised that our emotions may get the best of us because there are 3 major planets that are coming, that are shifting, and it will always have a direct toll on us, most especially emotionally. So, please refrain from making any major decisions in the next 2 days, most especially if you're very emotional. Please refrain from making any major decisions. Do not sign any contracts. Do not do anything anything drastic, anything na hindi napag-isipan. But if in emergency cases like you really need to make a decision, just make sure that you pray first. Pray for discernment. I want you to really have a strong connection with God before you make these decisions. Because sabi ko nga, lalo na kung kailangan talagang gumawa ng decisions, and there's a strong possibility that we may be too emotional. In short, pwedeng magulo yan, dalawang yan. And the only time that we will guarantee na maganda yung discernment process natin is when our mind agrees of that decision because it was well discerned and our emotions are also agreeing. Ibig sabihin, wala talaga tayong agam-agam every time that we're going to make decisions. And that's one good thing. If you need to make a decision and we don't feel the balance between our mind and heart, my say, and this is for everybody, please refrain from doing that. Or the goal is to just observe and not respond yet. Maybe after the third day, after sa 15th yon, mas mainam. Palampasin muna natin the next 2 days natin. And it started today na. So if you also felt the energy for today, maraming emotions talaga today. And this is why. Okay? Again, if you haven't watched our weekly tarot reading, I encourage you to do so. Also, by the way, thank you for yung isa natin, may bagong subscriber tayo. If you haven't subscribed in our YouTube channel yet, please like, share, and subscribe in our YouTube channel. This always encourages us for us to do better and for us to always share our wisdom to everybody. So kung hindi ka pa nakaka-subscribe, mag-subscribe ka na. Also, kung gusto niyo naman manalo 1,000 pesos worth ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet, we have a separate instruction for that. At the end of our session, may isa sa ating mananalo. But if you would want to win that, kailangan nyo lang magpunta sa either Facebook page or Instagram account of celestialblue.ph and please share any of the posts there. Anything sandali, ay, naku, may nagpaparamdam. Any post, pwede natin i-share natin sa di ba Kala? Share na, ay shush. Ayaw mo ba ng airtime for today? Ay shush. Ay sige na nga, ayaw niya ng airtime. Any of the posts in your stories and sa news feeds, share nyo lang and take a screenshot and that serves as your entry. Now, kung hindi tayo masyadong mapalad for tonight, it's also your official entry for our monthly draw. You can win workshop passes naman. Okay? So, next question na tayo. Tingnan naman natin yung ating next question. Oy, napaka-ano naman ito. Wow, okay. So here is another important question for tonight. Oh, how do I get over my fear of being not enough? Grabe. Being like one of my parents I do not like and to embrace my own power. Ay, okay. Nako, pag-usapan natin na maigi yan. Handa akong ibigay ang nararapat. Okay, so, nako, ang dami na nating nabigay na mga tips. And most especially, napapansin nyo ba, puro health yung din natin ngayon because the energy talaga from today hanggang next Thursday, it's really going to trigger us emotionally. Kaya pansinin nyo, most of our first few na participants, one way or another, may mga emotions involved. So kung nasa surface lalo yan tonight, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Kasama talaga yan sa mga shift na pagdadaanan pa natin the next 2 days. Okay? So kapit. Be very patient. But let's talk about one important thing muna. Let's talk about one important thing na sinabi niya is the fear of not being enough. Okay? So, well, I'm telling you that there are certain individuals na isa sa karma that we need to process is yung ating is how we see ourselves. Karmically, ito is kasama sa mga lessons na kailangan natin talagang matutunan. Now, I'm not going to seclude myself from that. There was a point in my life, believe it or not, there is a time in my life that I was really feeling a lot of insecurities. Primarily, alam mo, when I was in a corporate setting before, one of my strongest insecurities is I haven't finished college and I do not have a degree. And until now, I haven't finished college. It's one of my biggest insecurities when I was in a corporate setting. Kasi may time na siguro nung nag-uumpisa pa lang ako, I was okay because kumbaga nasa entry level lang yung position ko before. I was very much happy during that time. Kumbaga I was contented and I was fulfilled. Even if I'm entry level, at least I'm there. It's a huge company. Pero tumataas na yung pangarap ko and I started training so that I can have a chance for promotion. Now, ang napapansin ko that every time I get shortlisted, kumaga medyo head-to-head na yung laban, dalawa na lang kami pinagpipilian, pero ang nakikita ko talaga is credentials. Not just that, syempre there are many things to work on, pero isa sa mga factor is yung credentials. And pagdating sa credentials, pag tinitignan yung aking educational attainment, parang dun pa lang, malaki ng lamang. So I started working on it and I went back to college in 2011. I went back to college to address that and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because I started feeling na okay, at least I'm taking action. If this is my insecurity, if I really feel like this can be an opportunity for me to become better, then why not engage on doing something that I can address it? And that's what I did. But then again, hindi ko pa rin siya nakuha kasi na-promote na ako. Nung na-promote naman na ako, ayun na. So, hindi mahirap sa totoo lang mahirap din talaga maging working student. Imagine I was working full-time and I was also studying full-time. Mas mahaba nga ano ko, eh, kasi Monday to Saturday yung school ko nun. Dahil back to zero ako. Frosh. At 27, frosh ako nung time na yun. Imagine that. So, ayun siya. So, another realization during that time, sabi ko nga, okay, so siguro na promote naman na ako, I think okay na yun, di ba? So, but then again, just like yung participant natin, sometimes may maa-address ka, but still you won't feel like you're enough. Still you won't feel like you've done something right. Why? Because ma-address mo man yung isang bagay, there are still many things. Again, isang aspeto lang ng buhay natin yung natignan ko during that time. My insecurity about my studies and school. Kala wag kang tatalon dyan, anak. Kumalma ka lang. Okay. Ang hirap. Tinan mo yan. Mag-multitasking ka pag tatay ka. Ganyan talaga. Okay. So, going back. Here is one good realization. Every single time na mararamdaman mo na you're not enough, it is now your responsibility to really go deeper from within and to really ask, okay, if may nararamdaman akong hindi ako enough right now, bakit muna? Bakit? Ano ang mga bagay na magsasabi sa sarili mo na hindi na may kakulangan ka? So first is mindfulness. Kung sinasabi mo may kakulangan, pinpoint ano ang kulang. Ano ang kulang and be honest with yourself. Is it something, teka lang anak, yung coffee na machine natin, ano, alam mo ikaw, hindi naman niya ginagalaw yan kapag pag alam niya talagang kumuha ng attention. So going back. Anak, pambili natin ng cat. Narinig niyo naghulog-hulog ng kung ano. Ikaw talaga. Okay. So, you have to know, ano ba ang sinasabi mong kakulangan mo sa sarili mo? And, pag na-pinpoint mo na, you have to be realistic. Kaya bang i-address? Halimbawa, if I'm going to use my own experience during that time, ang insecurity ko, ang kakulangan ko sa sarili ko is yung insecurity ko na hindi ako nakatapos ng pag-aaral. So, ang tanong ko sa sarili ko, kaya ko ba? Kaya ko ba bang bumalik sa school? Financially, kaya ko ba? May binubuhay pa akong mga kamag-anak. Kaya ko ba? Kaya ko bang isang tabi ang isang malaking portion ng aking because mataas ang pangarap ko during that time. Tumaas ang pangarap ko. Nag-try akong mag-aral sa Binild. And hindi siya madali because hindi ako scholar. And during that time, in 2011, I need to come up with, and quarter sem kami doon. So, I try-sem rather. So, imaginein mo, every 4 months, I need to come up with at least 45,000. Gano'n na and naubos talaga ang savings ko during that time because may insecurity nga ako. So imagine mo, just to give you an idea, 'di ba? So, pero sabi ko sa sarili ko, kaya ba? Sabi ko, kaya, kakayanin. So that's the time na pinanindigan ko naman. Yung sinabi kong kaya ko, I started working hard even more. Pero here's the thing, that's what's my own experiences are about. You have to also be very brave to look from within and to really ask yourself, if I'm not enough, and then what makes me feel not enough, and start listing it one by one. And I know you're also very fond of journaling, so that it will be something that's tangible and you can see that you can remind yourself every time. Do not be afraid to list them down so that that's your first step for you to start facing what you need to. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you feel is a factor for you to not feel complete or not appreciated, list it down. And hindi mo lang siya ililista para saktan ang sarili mo. Ililista mo yan because yan ang magiging goal natin. Iisa-isahin natin yan. Iisa-isahin natin yan para little by little. And my suggestion is to start on the very easy thing na alam mong kaya mong ma-address na hindi ka mahihirapan. Kasi one victory over another, it start helping you. It will allow you to discover na may power ka talaga to really make things happen. So, uumpisahan natin dun sa pinakamadali. Uumpisahan natin dun sa isang bagay na although na alam mo na kailangan mong gawin, hindi imposibleng i-address. So, you have to be very open as well na pag nilista mo dyan, may commitment ka. May commitment ka for you to really address them. So that's just one. Now, little by little, you have to celebrate your wins kapag na-achieve mo na siya. Why? Why do we need to celebrate our wins? So that you would know, that's a living proof na kaya mo. Because kung hindi mo siya isi-celebrate, what will remind yourself na you are someone who have won over something? Celebrations are celebrations. Hindi ko naman sinabi magpa-happy fiesta ka. Pero kung sakaling magpapa-fiesta ka, syempre dapat invite mo ko. Alert level 1 naman na tayo dito ngayon sa Metro Manila. Ano ba naman i-invite mo ko? Si Rain, in-invite ako niyan kahapon. Ibubunyag ko na ang Princess of Mega World ay nagpamigay ng blessing kahapon. And I'm so happy dahil nabiyayaan kami ni Princess of Mega World ng mga biyaya niya. Thank you so much, Rain. Si Miss Rain. Mapipi ko na lang. Joke lang. Love you. Thank you. Pero thank you. Mabalik tayo. You have to celebrate those wins. Kasi yun yung power na hinihintay mo. That's a living proof that you're able to check isa sa mga nilista mo. And that's your living proof na kung nagawa mo sa isa, magagawa mo sa lahat. So celebrate your wins and make it very meaningful. Na if it has to come to a point na kung kailangan mo siya, gumawa ka ng mga listahan mo, may columns ka na nandito, ilipat mo sa kabila. And every time nalilipat mo sa kabila, ito yung mga na-address mo na, that is the power that you're starting to develop and grow from within. And tandaan mo, hindi naman natin kailangan i-announce yan. Ay, namaskaram din, MC. Namaskaram. You don't need to announce it to everybody because honestly, this is something that is just for you. Hindi rin natin responsibility sa ibang tao na i-announce sa ibang tao na eto na, nagawa ko na siya or I'm improved na. Why? Because your integrity will speak volumes. How your energy will always be a clear reflection of how you process yung mga life aspects natin, life lessons natin. That will be a clear reflection ng energies natin. Now, when you get to discover na isa-isa mo na siyang isa-isa mo na yung from the easiest ones, pero talagang, and by the way, there's no judgment. There is no judgment kung feeling mo mababaw lang ba, pero kung feeling mo kailangan i-address, address mo. Kasi kung madali lang pala siya, pero talagang feeling mo this is something that measures your worth, then address it. And then isa-isa, makikita mo na, okay, kaya naman pala. Because sometimes, all it takes is for you to recognize that you can. And I'm telling you, external forces or external energies around you or the people around you, and kahit ako, I can only do as much. The biggest steps na gagawin natin is talagang sa pangsarili natin. You have to own up kung anong sinasabi mo na kakulangan mo. It's also our responsibility to supply everything that it takes para sa sarili natin to improve it. Dahil walang gagawa niyan para sa atin kung hindi tayo lamang. And every time that you do this, every time na binibigay mo yan sa sarili mo, binibigyan mo rin yung opportunity yung sarili mo to become better as a person. So, list it down, the easiest ones, and make sure that you celebrate these wins. And then, pine-prepare mo na yung sarili mo to start tackling on the bigger things. Because dun naman yun eh. Practice natin yan. Practice natin on the smaller ones so that it will give you the opportunity to develop not just the courage, the wisdom to take on the bigger things. Because yan naman ang inaabatan natin. Be open, have an open mind and heart on whatever lessons you will discover every time na nananalo ka. Every time na yung maliliit na bagay na yan, sineselebrate mo, may wisdom na nakalaan yan. Yan ang premyo mo. Ay, I needed to hear this. Oo naman, para sa'yo talaga yan. And sabi ko nga, mapapansin nyo, napakasimple lang ng mga instructions na binibigay ko dahil, believe it or not, hindi naman kailangan complicated ang mga sagot natin. More often than not, ang mga kasagutan natin ay napakasimple lang. Ang mga kasagutan natin, something na alam na natin. I-remind ko lang kayo na kaya natin. And I'm telling you, pinagdaanan ko rin yan. And ngayon, ako yung nagbibigay ng mga ganyan kasi pinagdaanan ko at in-apply ko din sa sarili ko. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi naman din ako bulletproof na in the future, hindi ko na siya pwedeng daanan. Tandaan nyo, meron tayong isang universal law. Ang tawag sa kanya is law of synthesis. And this is really something that connects us all together. What my story is can be your own story. And what your story is can be my story as well. And every time may mga binabasahan akong tao, this reminds me kung anong pinagdaanan ko. And it also reminds me na pwede ko uling daanan yan if I start losing grip kung hindi ko nagalingan. if I start becoming mindful, if I stop caring. So I want you to care for yourself so much because that's what I gave to myself. I started caring. I started minding my energy. I started minding my own decisions. And I started owning up sa kung anong kailangan kong ayusin sa buhay ko. And I was never afraid to do that. And I hope as you go through with this process, may maririnig at maririnig ka sa ibang tao. Because honestly, what they will see is just what on the surface, and they can normally respond according to what they see, according to what they feel. Pero if people tell you otherwise, that you're not doing well, pero alam mo sa sarili mo dahil may listahan ka, that's why I want you to list it down, because that's your living proof. No matter what other people will say or do to prove you're not enough, something tangible nakikita mo, and that's your proof that you are enough. So I want you to do it intentionally. I want you to do it consciously. And every single step that you make, I want you to document it. So that any given time na magtataka ka na naman, may progress ba ako? Yan yung living proof mo. May listahan ka. Dahil importante ang resibo. Alam mo na. So my suggestion for you, take it one step at a time. Follow these very simple instructions and own it. And I want you to own it. And I want you to enjoy every process, because this will empower not just you. Lahat ng mga tao na makakaalam ng story mo, may empower mo sila sa future. Your story can help others. Your story can truly help others who may be going through the same thing. Hindi niya lang alam. Or there are other people who may go through the same thing, pero unlike you, walang makakatulong sa kanya. Pero tayo, nagtutulungan tayo. And that's our commitment with each other. Kaya nga tayo lahat nandito eh. We're all here because we need that love and support from each other. And that's why we're all here. Some people may not have the necessary support, pero pwedeng ikaw yun in the future. Let your own story, hindi something that's fictional. Hindi ka magbibigay ng hindi ka magbibigay, alam mo, nabasa ko yung gantong libro and ganito yung nangyari, baka pwede natin gawin. Okay, so wag ganun. Mas totoong storya, mas may resibo, mas pwede tayong manalo. Okay? So kaya ang sasabihin ko lang sa'yo, I'm honestly happy for you. I'm honestly happy for you because right now, you may see this as you're not enough. Pero na-excite ako na darating yung araw na pag binisita uli natin tong moment na to, sasabihin mo lang sa sarili mo, dati lang yun. And akala ko lang. Pero ngayon, alam ko na. So believe in yourself. Because sa totoo lang, you cannot manifest anything na hindi mo pinaniniwalaan. And I believe in you. So kung ako nga, sabi ko nga, something na external, para maniwala ka naman sa sinabi ko. Baka sabi mo, anything na, yung sinabi ko kanina, anything external, wag ka maniwala. Ito, maniwala ka. Naniniwala ako sa iyo. Maniwala ka din sa sarili mo. Because the more you believe and you trust yourself, that's the strongest key to manifest. So trust and believe. Thank you for joining Tarot Tuesdays. Ayan, naiyak ako. Thank you. Huwag mo na rin akong paiyakin. Baka may konting, may babasahin pa ako eh. Pero love you, alam mo yan. Okay. So good evening. Ay, naku, yun yung follow-up. Okay, so good evening, everybody. My name is Marky Mendoza. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, also an intuitive tarot reader and teacher. This is Tarot Tuesdays. So may time pa tayo. If you have questions, pwede nyo ipadala. Libre lang magtanong. If you want to participate, share nyo lang po yung live video natin in our social media and screenshot po natin. Pakisend yung screenshot sa ating Facebook page dahil importante ang resibo. Also, sa mga gusto naman manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet, courtesy of our official partner, Celestial Blue, may separate instructions po tayo dyan. Kung ang bracelet na ang target natin for tonight, hindi talaga yung reading ko, okay lang, dahil iba pa rin yung 1,000 pesos, no? Sayang naman yun. Napakaganda pa. And by the way, Celestial Blue is also my fellow Reiki master. You're guaranteed to have the best energies when you receive the crystals. So, the instructions, kung gusto natin manalo ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet, pumunta po tayo sa Facebook page or Instagram ng celestialblue.ph and then i-share po natin yung either yung sa post nyo or sa stories, paki-screenshot. Again, importante ang resibo. And then before we end our show, that's approximately in a few minutes time, may isang mananalo sa atin, isang magwawagi. And congratulations sa'yo. So, finally, kung hindi nyo pa napapanood yung weekly tarot reading, naku po, medyo grabe yung energies natin for today. May marami, mahaba-haba pa yung linggo natin. And Holy Week ngayon, it's really time to reflect. Panoorin natin yung weekly tarot reading para mas makatulong sa pag-reflect natin. So, eto na yung kaninang pending na natin, na participant natin kanina. Okay, sige. Ito na yung sabi. Ask ko lang po, Master, kung makakapasok po ako ng benta or 2 units this month. Ayun na, alam na natin ang nasa sales. In fairness, ikaw lang nagtanong ng career for tonight. Kaya naman, first time pa lang yata ako magbubunot ng puro emotions kasi ang tinitingnan natin kanina. Ay, wait lang na. Kamustahin ko muna kaya ang dami na pala. Nanonood na po ako, Master. Alam, maraming salamat naman, MC. Hello, maraming salamat. And see you sa Saturday, ha? See you Saturday. Okay, kasi magre-Reiki din yan, magiging estudyante ko yan. Sige, gagalingan natin sa Sabado, ha? Kasama kayo ni Liz, nako. Then, Regil, kamusta? Nice to see you. O baka may tanong ka, habol pa. O tsaka, alam mo na, magaling ka mag-manifest. Siya ang nanalo ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet last Tuesday natin. Congratulations uli sa iyo, Regil. So, tingnan natin kung makakabenta na yung itong natin. Ito yung kanina kasi sabi ko nga hindi natin pwede itanong yung initial tanong niya and nagbigay ako ng chance na ibahin yung yung ating question. Dahil ikaw lang nagtanong ng career, first time akong bubunot. Imagine mo matatapos na yung show natin, ngayon pa lang bubunot ng cards. Ayan. Nabunot daw po ba alam mo kayo ha, wait lang, may pila pa. Grabe siya. Alam mo, huwag kayong maglaglagan dyan ni Natsuki. Okay, sige, tingnan natin. Sige ha. Okay. So, syempre, ang pinakatitingnan natin dito, ang pinaka-best affirmation natin, syempre, I will say na talagang 100% perfectly, malaking-malaki talaga yung opportunity natin kapag na-perfect natin yung tatlong barahan natin is major cards. Pero pag minor cards, doon natin malalaman yung efforts na ibibigay natin. Ha? So, sabi ko nga, tandaan, anything na makukuha natin sa cards natin, hindi yan final because we are always in charge of our energy. Here we go. Aba. May one major card tayo. Okay, so doon pala makikita mo na how much more effort yung ibibigay natin kasi 1 out of 3 major cards. So, ibig sabihin talagang magbibigay pa tayo ng efforts, ha? Dadagdagan pa natin yung efforts natin. And magbibigay din ako ng opportunity para ma-manifest natin to. Magbibigay ako ng particular charity work para sa inyo. And I'll remind you bakit kailangan ng charity work. Kailangan. Now, for our first card, this is our past energy. No, ito na, kitang-kita naman yung tinatrabaho natin. This is the Queen of Wands. Okay? Yan, tinan mo, kitang-kita yung tinatrabaho natin dahil dalawa nga. Okay? So, ganyan ka-literal yung cards natin. Now, the Queen of Wands, when we get wands on our tarot cards, yan talaga ang energy that symbolizes hard labor talaga. So, in short, talagang pag nag-a-appear yung card na yan, talagang alam mong paghihirapan. Okay? And now, I know talagang you're really doing your efforts kasi look at the fire. It really symbolizes yung ating passion on how we're going to do it. Okay? Now, alam kong yan ang pinanggagalingan natin. You are really wanting to give your very best so that you can give yung talagang necessary manifestation natin dun sa pagbenta nitong natin kasi nasa sales yung ating current participant, no? However, itong current energy natin, we have 4 of swords. Medyo tingnan kasi natin yung energy natin ngayon. Yan, and tingnan natin, medyo ayun. The current energy, imagine mo the person, that's why I like this deck. Isa ito sa mga favorite cards ko din talaga kasi nga it really is showing a modern na life natin. Sabi ko nga, ang card na to is hati. Yung isa, living a modern life, everyday life na hindi spiritual, yung isa spiritual. Okay, so ito naman, tinan mo naman itsura nito. So if this is the current energy and it seems like the person here is in the workspace. Pero look at what the person is doing in the workspace. Okay, so in short, talagang kailangan natin ng effort. Kailangan pa nating dagdagan yung effort because with the current energy, it may sounding feeling a little too not so pressured. Parang may konting lax tayo na feelings here on our So there are many things pa na we can do better. There are many things pa na we can do to improve the energy because papunta naman siya, mo, medyo promising naman. Ayun, tinan mo. We have the major card, but this is the devil card. Okay, the devil card, this is really the card of bias. There's a celebration naman in the end. But it's not always what it seems dahil may konting bias yung ano natin diyan. So, yung bias natin is that yung intentions natin why we're doing it. We have to really revisit why we're also giving yung efforts natin. Ano ang mga pina-process natin na ano, mga pina-process nating emotions din right now for us to feel not so focused. That's one important thing. Now, this is also, sabi ko nga, if yung depending yung pina-process nating emotion, nagkakaroon na nahihila yung energy ng career natin diyan. And that is what this card is about. So, if you have experienced that today, and perfect nga because today and in the next 2 days, nagbigay na ako ng warning that emotionally, it can be too much. It can be too much, sa totoo lang. So you really have to, right now, sabi ko nga, it's really our goal to not make any major decisions, not until mabalanse natin ang mga emotions natin. Dahil it can take a toll in the future. Which is also something that's resonating sa cards mo. So that means, I would want you to really process what you need to emotionally then. Okay? And also, bibigyan na lang kita ng tip. Number one, of course, is to also address it. Of course, that's one. Pero let's also focus on charity work. Mag-focus tayo sa charity work because sabi ko nga, anything that we need to manifest, here is how we're going to do it. If we're talking about manifesting, the awareness of the energies lang naman talaga yung pinaka magiging ano natin dyan, focus natin dyan. Kung anong tinanim siyang aanihin. So in short, if we want blessings, we need to invest blessings. Okay, mag-invest din tayo ng blessing para makukuha din tayo ng blessing. Let's be a blessing for other people. So, and by the way, hindi ko maiwasan na napakaganda ng kulot ko for today. So, thank you so much, by the way, Fit and Form for my hair. Thank you, Bessie, if you wanna nakapag ano pa, no? But anyway, thank you. Hindi ko lang maiwasang maano. Sorry na, naging narcissistic ako ng konti. But anyway, going back, sabi ko nga if blessing ang gusto natin makuha, mag-invest din tayo ng blessing. Let's be a blessing towards others. There are many ways on how you can be a blessing towards others. Hindi lamang po siya limited sa pera, hindi lang din po siya limited sa church, pagdo-donate ng blessing sa church. There are many ways para ma-express natin ang mga blessings natin. And one important way is for us to be very, very generous to the need, yung mga nangangailangan, sa mga less fortunate. And earlier, kanina bago mag-start ng Tarot Tuesdays, meron nga akong isang niyaya kasi alam mo, meron akong isa sa mga paborito kong charity work right now, namamakyaw ako ng mga sampagita. Sorry na. Anong tawag dito? And may pinupuntahan kami sa Green Hills na siguro mga once or twice in a week, we have to go there sa Green Hills. Dahil may pwesto rin kami sa Green Hills. Anong tawag dito? May pwesto kami doon sa nag-promote pa sa promenade. If you wanna see your crystals namin, yung crystals sa Celestial Dew, you can find us actually sa promenade. Sa Unbox, nandun yung ano namin. Bibigyan ng slot natin doon. 2A. We are at Locker 2A. Puntahan nyo kami doon kung gusto nyo ng mga crystals. Gusto nyo makita yung mga bracelets ni Celestial. Do you wanna see them in person? Go to Unbox and Promenade. Inbox na kami sa Locker 2A. Nandun yung ano namin. And every mga once or twice a week, nandun kami. And alam mo ginagawa namin doon, may mga group of sampagita vendors na talagang pinapakyaw ko yung mga paninda nila. And anong tawag dito? Yun na yung charity work ko. And alam mo why I like doing that? Because I am not only, hindi ko sila binibigyan ng pera, I am helping them with their job. So, hindi lang ako, hindi ko sila, parang, hindi siya limos. They're working. And what a good way to honor these people. Pakyawin ng benta. And alam mo, and dahil nga kami Hindu at everyday nagdadasal kami, everyday nag-aalay kami ng bulaklak, edi yun ang inaalay namin sa altar namin. Pero alam mo, hindi namin offering yun. Offering yun ng mga sampagita vendors na favorite namin. Kaya alam mo, kanina, isa sa mga students ko, kausap ko, actually fellow Reiki master ko siya. Kinausap ko kanina kasi naghahanap din siya ng charity work. Kaya in-invite ko siya, sabi ko, gusto mo kasi meron steady charity work ko talaga siya. Makiyaw talaga ako. Gusto mo, if I'm going there, sama ka din. I want you to find your own charity work and pwede doon. Pwede kang bumili ng mga tulungan mo yung mga vendors natin, yung mga simple vendors natin outside. And hindi yan nanlilimos, they're working hard. What a perfect way to honor their hard work. 'di ba? So my suggestion, even if you don't need it, buy it because that's what I also do. Isa sa mga suki ko dun sa Green Hills, he's a very good manong and may advocacy din siya dun sa kanyang ano 'no, may advocacy siya sa binoboto niya 'no, dahil kulay rosas ang bukas, okay? So, and talagang ang binebenta niya ballpen, pero binibili ko pa din. Kahit hindi ko naman kailangan ng ballpen, bibilhin ko pa rin dahil nagtatrabaho ng marangal si kuya, 'di ba? So, napakagandang suportahan ng mga nagtatrabaho ng marangal. So, that's another way for you to support them. So, again, hindi siya limited na magbibigay ka lang ng limos, okay? So, talagang any help that you can, support other people and be a blessing towards others. That's a very good way para makapagtulong tayo. Imagine mo mo-motivate mo pa yung mga taong yun para galingan ng galingan kasi may nilo-look forward sila. Maniniwala sila na 'pag nagsumikap sila one way or another may tutulong sa kanila. So do that, do that. And ang magandang ano, ang magandang gagawin natin before we do yung mga charity work natin, i-set muna natin yung intention. Lord, willing po akong i-let go ang blessing na 'to, i-she-share ko po ang blessing na 'to para sa inyo, and 'pag ginawa po natin 'yan, i-she-share ko yung blessing niyo, pero ito po ang gusto ko pong ipagdadasal, and then do it continuously. Dahil the more we add more energies, the more we create blessings, the more na mami-manifest natin siya. And sabi ko nga, walang timeline 'yan. Ito ang lagi ko sinasabi na hangga't hindi natin nakukuha ang lahat ng mga pinagdadasal natin, ang goal natin is to keep doing it over and over. So, huwag titigil sa charity work natin. Lalo na you're someone na nasa sales, lalo na kung gusto mo mas consistent yung sales natin, then dapat consistent din yung ating charity work, consistent din yung pagtulong natin sa ibang tao. Kasi alam mo, here's the thing kapag automatic na yan, nakaset ako 'pag may dumarating blessing sa akin yan. Hindi ko binibilang kung magkano yung papasok sa akin, pero basta may pumasok sa akin, automatic, a portion of it, it has to be shared, literally. Because the universe knows kung ano lang ang para sa atin. Whatever we get, 90% lang ang para sa atin dun. 10% is meant to be shared. Kaya yan yung nasa Bible natin tinatawag nating tithings o yung ikapu sa Tagalog. 10% of which is really meant to be shared. Para iyon, alam mo yung 10% na yun, that's God's ways of you using you. Ginagamit ka ni God as a vessel of His own blessings sa ibang taong nangangailangan. And sadly, kapag hindi natin nabibigay yun for charity work, yun yung mga panahon na minsan may mga unexpected expenses tayo. Yung mga hindi natin masyadong inaasahan, biglang may kailangan tayong bayaran. One year or another, kukunin ni universe yan. Totoo yun. Or minsan nahuhulugan tayo ng pera o kaya minsan nasa-scam tayo online, depende kung ano-ano. So, make sure when you do this, you have to be very consistent. Kung anong papasok, make it a habit, i-share kagad. And alam mo, this is really second nature na for me. And this is really something that I am committed to share. Dahil, alam mo, I'm lifting this wisdom from one of my fellow Reiki masters. Sinabi niya na ito ang mismo na experience niya. Parang minsan kino-question natin si universe, talaga bang kaya mo akong bigyan ng blessing? Tapos bibigyan ka niya ng blessing. And then, ikaw naman, i-share mo yung blessing ni universe dahil ika'y napaka-grateful mo. Pero hindi magpapatalo si universe sa'yo. Talaga magaling ka mag-share ng blessing, pero tignan mo, mas magaling ako mag-share ng blessing. And if there's one thing na gusto kong i-challenge yung si universe, diyan nyo siya i-challenge kung gaano siya kalakas at gaano siya ka-generous magbigay ng blessing. And I'm telling you, hindi magpapatalo si universe sa inyo. I'm telling you, the moment na binigay mo ang nararapat or sometimes even more, sumobra sa 10%, extra ko nga ng blessing to. I'm telling you, kung may gusto kayong i-challenge ang universe, dyan nyo siya i-challenge kung gaano ka-generous. Pero dapat, syempre, galingan nyo rin. Maging generous din kayo dapat. Okay? And do this consistently. Yun lamang. Thanks for joining Tarot Tuesdays. Hello, anong tawag dito yung anak ko, yung fellow Reiki master ko, si Jeff. Thank you so much at nakahabol ka. Maraming salamat. Namaskaram. Okay. May mga pink heart tayo dyan. Wow. Sige. Claudine. Syempre, alam mo na, kulay rosas ang bukas. Syempre. So, kaya pa yan ng ating nag-iisang Kaya pa yan ng iisa. Tingnan natin. Yan, okay. So, ang last question na natin for the day, dahil may contest, may raffle pa tayo. Okay, so isa na muna. I know may pila pa, pero pasensya na. Ito na yung magiging last natin. Namaskaram din. Okay. I had to first-hand experience when I saw father with his kid hungry kasi hindi kumakain yung father, so I made the simple to give food dun sa wow! Ikaw ba yung nasa ano, parang nakita ko yun sa social media. Hindi, iba pa yun. Alam ko yan. Tama yan, anak. Very good ang ano, charity work. So eto na, sa work po kasi ako sumingit lang. Naku, mag-focus ka rin sa work, oo. Sige, balikan mo na lang 'to mamaya kasi puwede naman. Hoy, alam mo MJ Colliarga, eto na naman tayo sa hashtag mo, mali yung hashtag mo, hindi amoy rosas, okey. Alam mo, kulay rosas kasi, ayan ka na naman sa amoy rosas. Although amoy din, maaamoy mo kasi talaga, it's in the air. Kasi love is in the air, okey? So eto sorry, trabaho na ako, okey. Sa work po kasi ay nabasa ko na nga pala. Mamaya po nabasa ko na rin pala yun paulit-ulit. Okay. "Na-miss kita master." Ay shush! Magtatanong ka ba o maglalambingan lang tayo pero na-miss din kita, alam mo yan. Okay. So, teka lang. So, ano mo yung tanong mo? Wait lang, wala ka palang tanong. Ala kasi alam mo ang haba-haba ng sinabi mo, gusto mo lang pala pero ano muna yung tanong mo? Wait, anong tanong mo? Okay, teka lang. Ito pala, okay na. Okay na. Okay, ito pala yung tanong niya. Okay. So, puwede po magtanong about sa love life currently in a relationship. Ay shush! Sige na nga, ikaw pala may ano, may ay naku, okay. Tignan natin ang current energy nito. My gosh, okay. Well, balanse ang buhay natin this session dahil majority ng mga questions natin para sa health natin. May isa nagtanong about yung career, may isa nagtanong para sa love life. Balanse ang buhay. Maganda, maganda. Pero sige, tignan natin ang current na energy ng relationship natin para sa ating lucky home partner. May ganyan pa, narinig pa ba tayong ganyan? Naku, nahalata na naman yung edad ko. Tingnan natin ang energy ninyong dalawang magsing-irog. Okay, dahil sabi ko nga, maraming nagse-celebrate ng love sa atin. Nakikita ko mga pink roses, pink hearts sa atin. Maraming love is in the air. Dahil number 10 tayo pagdating sa Mayo 9. Okay, so tingnan na natin. Okay, okay. Aba, okay, may one major card tayo. Alam mo, napaka-literal nitong card na 'to. Napaka-literal ng card na 'to, and this is really something na ano, na a very good reflection para sa inyong dalawang magsing-irog. So, may one major card and napakaganda naman ng reflection ng energy na 'yan. So, first of all, we have ito yung past energy na ginagamit na pinanggagalingan ng energy natin. We have 8 of Cups or 8 of Chalices. Ito yung ano natin. So, busy lang kayo 'no? Alam ko naman busy kayo, ang dami niyong ano, ang dami niyong ginagawa bawat isa. Mas busy ka, pero yung isa din hindi naman ibig sabihin wala talaga siyang ano 'no. But ang maganda, pareho kayo, magandang priority ninyo sa buhay. Magandang pangarap ninyong pareho sa buhay. So magandang direction ng mga goals, dreams, and aspirations individually, and nandun din ang pangarap siyempre na mabuong pagmamahalan. And here is the thing, although medyo busy lang, currently, I'm telling you, kasi ito nga pinanggagalingan nating energy, busy, busy sa mga priority, busy sa mga pag-fulfill ng mga pangarap natin sa buhay. Pero ito din ang current energy. We have the King of Swords. Busy pa din ngayon. Okay. So, if one of the things that you're really wanting to ask, if the underlying question here is ano po ba nangyayari? May time pa po ba kami sa isa't isa? May nangyayari po ba kahit medyo wala po kaming time? Kung yun lang ang gusto mong itanong talaga, if this is the underlying question, because medyo apparent, no? Medyo apparent na past energy and the current energy is about priority sa buhay. I'm telling you, walang masama. Walang masama. Walang masama na may malakas na focus sa pag-achieve ng mga pangarap natin sa buhay. Hindi masama na alam mo kung anong para sa'yo at alam mo na may abilidad kang gawin yon. Hindi masama na mangarap tayo. Hindi masama na mangangarap ka na ibigay mo ang best intentions mo dahil may maganda kang hangarin. Okay, hindi yun masama. Most especially kung genuine yung puso mo. Most especially, may kakayahan ka at may puso ka para gawin ang nararapat. Hindi ka nagnanakaw sa kaban ng bahay. Ay, sorry na iba na. Ano nangyari? Joke lang yun. Okay, so all I'm saying is that maganda na may steady kayong pangarap kasi imagine mo, would you rather be with someone or ikaw man lang, would you be with someone na alam mong hindi gano'n ang pangarap na mabubuo yung pagmamahal pero hindi mo masyadong maramdaman ang plano sa buhay. Pero ito ramdam na ramdam mo, may plano ka, may plano din siya. So ibig sabihin napakaganda ng ginagawa niyo sa sarili niyo because alam niyo at the end of it, para sa kabutihan ng lahat. So hindi siya masama, pero kailangan niyo magpasensya sa isa't isa. At yun naman ang nakikita ng huling card na 'to. Tingnan mo naman, it's the Temperance card and tingnan niyo naman kung gaano ka-sweet, kalambing, and napaka-literal ng cards. Tingnan niyo naman, ang ginagawa ninyong dalawa ay para sa magandang kinabukasan din. Ngayon, feeling niyo business kailangan maraming pagdadaan ng paghihirap, pero only for you to celebrate it in the future. Para sa kinabukasan. Dahil paghihirapan natin lahat ng kinabukasan natin at paghihirapan natin siya nang hindi tayo mag-aapak ng ibang tao para lang maiangat ang sarili natin. Tutulungan natin ang isa't isa natin so that lahat tayo in the end magkakaroon ng magandang kinabukasan. Dahil totoo namang kulay rosas ang bukas. Thanks for joining Tarot Tuesdays. Well, that's it for our session for tonight and maraming salamat sa mga participate. May nakapila pa pero pasensya na, konti na lang ang time natin. Pero tignan natin, yung ating namang mga winners natin for today, nako tignan, ang ganda ng message, ng messages ng card. No, oo, totoo yan, napakaganda. Tsaka mas maganda ang kulay pink. So, kung gusto niyo naman manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet, pakita niyo na yung mga resibo niyo dahil resibo ay importante sa atin. So, kung gusto niyo manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth na Crystal Abundance Bracelet, pakita niyo na nag-send kayo ng mga na nag-share kayo nung pakita niyo na nag-share kayo nung natin, ng uy, teka lang. Ayun, aba yung ayan, mga nag-share ng mga entries sa Celestial Blue. Okay, so go ahead and share nyo na. Ayun, very good. Meron na tayong 2 entry. Okay, very good. So, tingnan na natin yung And by the way, kailangan lang natin, sabi ko nga, kung gusto niyo manalo ng 1,000 pesos worth ng Crystal Abundance Bracelet, share niyo lang yung mga post ni Celestial Blue either in your Instagram or in your Facebook, and then pwede na. Libreng-libre na mag-join ng ating raffle. Okay, sandali lalagay ko lang yung natin. So tonight is 11, ay tama ba? 11, 12 na pala, April 12. Okay, so first, we have Francis Pasana. We have Cha Rodrin. Yan, ang mga entries natin. Thank you. Okay, so may time pa tayo. Okay. So, teka lang, anong tawag dito? Wait lang, anong tawag dito? Medyo naiba na instructions natin for naiba na instructions natin for the Crystal Abundance Bracelet, Anong tawag dito? MJ tsaka Miss Rain, kailangan niyo mag-share ng kailangan niyo mag-share ng stories ni Celestial Blue. But yung na yan, yung tawag dito, yung mga participants natin ngayon, syempre entry naman natin 'yan para sa tawag dito, sa workshop passes for this month. So, lagay pa rin natin 'yan. So, teka. So far, naku, parang dalawa lang ba maglalaban tonight, si Francis and si Cha. And si Cha, alam mo, what I like, Cha, ang gusto ko kay Cha is china-charity work niya lagi yung mga winnings niyan. So I'm so happy kasi napakalakas din mag-manifest ni Cha. Ayan. Ay sus! Ayun na! Ayun, very good, very good. Ayan, very good. Okay, may entry din si Miss Rain Zafra, the Princess of Mega World. Na napakaganda ng major cards. Ayun. Aba, okay. May isang poging nag-send ng entry in the name of MJ Colliarga. Masyadong pogi ito. Oh, alam mo na, ililibre mo ako next. 4 daw kayo. Meron kami, huwag kayong magwala. Parang naririnig ko pa, parang sinisigawan niyo pa ako. Okay, so aba, in fairness, 'yan. Next entry natin si Claudine Argete. Very good. Okay. So, teka lang. 'Yan ang mga entries. Yes, Claude Anat, very good, very good. Okay, so bigyan ko kayong konting time, tsaka may isa pa akong hinihintay na entry, si ano, ayan. So, if you want to win by the way, anong tawag dito, kung kailangan na wala dun sa ano, iba na instructions natin, kailangang ishe-share natin yung Celestial Blue 'pag dun sa ano, Claude, share mo na yung ayan, nautusan ka patuloy ng Princess of Mega World. By the way, sabi ko nga, if you haven't read our weekly tarot reading, naku po, kapit tayo for this week. So, if hindi pa natin napapanood, panoorin natin to stay guided dahil syempre Lenten season naman po natin, Holy Week po natin. Maganda na we take this time para makapag-reflect sa atin. Okay, Mary Zercal, ayan, that's another entry. Of course. Ayan. So, one last minute 'pag nag-11:02 dahil anong tawag dito, ayoko naman kayong puyatin. Sabi nga baka bukas sasali pa kayo sa mga rally ni Lenny. So, teka tingnan natin. O sige, next 1 minute 'pag nag-11:02 na tayo, start na yung raffle natin. And so far meron tayong 6 na entries sa ating ano, meron tayong 6 na entries para sa ating Doc Paula, share mo yung Celestial. Oo, 'di ba? Ayun 'no, nautusan ka na ni ano tuloy. Teka, kunin ko na nga yung randomizer para masimulan na natin. Yes. Yung kay Mary, yes, kasama na yun. Okay, okay, naku, 11:02 na, simulan na natin yung raffle natin and currently meron tayong ano, competitive. Siyempre competitive si Mary, alam mo naman 'yan. Okay, meron tayong 6 entries. Aba, napakalaki ang chance nating manalo for tonight kasi sabi ko nga yan ang instructions natin 'no, kailangan following instructions tayo siyempre. So meron tayong 6 na entries for tonight. So Francis, Ja, Rain, MJ, Claudine, and Mary Zercal. So, galingan natin. Ito 6 ng ating entries for tonight. And isa sa inyo mananalo ng ating Crystal Abundance Bracelet, and our winner for tonight is, ayan na, tingnan natin kung sino. Claudine, congratulations! You are our winner for tonight. Napakaswerte mo. So, hihingin ko na lang ang ating mga shipping details para naman makapag-send na si Celestial Bliseo ng iyong prize for tonight. And syempre sa lahat ng entries din natin for tonight, kung hindi tayo masyadong naging kasing lucky ni Claudine, don't worry dahil meron naman tayong chance at the end of this month, okay? But for now, maraming salamat ulit for joining us for another meaningful session, and thank you for the continuous love and support. And continuously share yung ating mga weekly tarot reading dahil makakatulong to sa ating lahat. And right now, pinapasalamatan ko rin kayo for continuously, syempre naman, laging pagtutok sa ating mga sessions for tonight. But this has been Marky Mendoza. Laging papaalala, keep trusting the process, everybody. Namaskaram. Have an amazing Holy Week. Reflect well. Huwag masyadong mag-meet. Para fasting tayo. Okay? Good night sa inyo lahat, and I'll see you all Sunday sa ating weekly reading. Good night.